Welcome to our aging puzzle. I am your host, Corlette Deveaux. Our show is about aging and how it affects all of us. We will have one-on-one stories and conversations with guests from all walks of life that have been impacted by life and aging. Whether they're seniors, middle-aged, or young, we will bring their inspiring stories to you. We will have the opportunity to listen to stories that will move us all to tears, make us laugh, inspire us, and give us valuable insights on current topics, health problems, and ways to live a healthier, longer life. We look forward to an inspiring time of listening, learning, and connecting with each other. This month, we're discussing the grieving process when dealing with the death of a loved one. And we have the honor of speaking with Latina Roggero and to hear her inspiring story. She is such an inspirational woman who has had to overcome immense loss in her life, including the loss of her children's father, her sister, and her mother. And you know, despite these hardships, Latina has even shown great resilience and strength and is such an example of courage to many. We are looking forward to hearing her story and learning from her. I know personally that grieving is not an easy process, but unfortunately, it is an inevitable part of life. At any point or another, you, we, I will go through some form of loss. I have experienced loss. This month, September 2023, marks 2 years since my dear beloved mother passed away from COVID. It has been a long, difficult, painful journey for my family and I, and we are still dealing with the pain of our loss. Join me in this week's episode as we explore the grieving process and the importance of taking time, recognizing and appreciating the feelings being experienced when you lose a loved one. Throughout the month, we will hear from Latina all about the resilience and the transformation that comes with seeking closure. This is one of those topics that just needs many people to come in and talk about it from their point of view and find solace in our collective strengths. Every month, there will be one guest on our show, and that guest will be on the show for the entire month. We will walk you through their journey week after week. Remember week 1, you will hear the big reveal. How did they hear the news? We will learn about the emotions, how they felt learning about the diagnosis, how did they learn hearing about the death of their loved one. And week 2, remember, we will focus on treatment options. How do you cope? My guests will take us through their process. And week 3, we will hear about their actual treatment. What did they do to cope? How did they handle it? Was it effective? What did they do? Did they have side effects? Just tell us everything. Because when we hear everything, it helps someone out there and it helps us. Week 4, we will hear about the outcome. What happened? How are they doing? And what are they doing differently? So join us every week to hear our guests walk you through their journey. Remember, our sponsor for our aging puzzle is DG Incorporated. DG Incorporated is a marketing and business development powerhouse, providing business coaching, strategic guidance, marketing, and tactical services to its clients. DG Incorporated helps clients unleash their business potential and growth. Now it's time for Aging Facts. Yay! It's September, y'all, and that means 1 is my birthday month. Happy birthday to me, the month of September. Yes, I'm Virgo. But September is Healthy Aging Month. Do you know what this month-long celebration is all about? Well, it is a nationwide annual observance dedicated to promoting ways people can stay healthy as we age. Voila, our aging puzzle. And did you know that it has been 30 years since Healthy Aging Month was celebrated for the first time? People celebrate this month by incorporating habits like exercise, eating healthy, getting enough sleep into their daily routines. It is also a day for encouraging others to stay active and take steps to improve physical and mental health. It's never too late to get active, y'all, and experience the amazing benefits of an active lifestyle. Moving more, sitting less is key for people of all ages. Get up, move, walk, do something. And listen, if you're an older adult, this is especially important for older adults. Please get up, move, stay active. Being active can help improve quality of life and can also reduce the risk and progression of chronic diseases and increase functional ability, which helps with independent living. And unfortunately, only 15% of older adults meet the recommended physical activity guidelines stated by the U.S. older adults. Okay, listen, guidelines says older adults, we need y'all to be more active. And remember, you can be active in so many ways. Don't just sit around. Go out in your community, make friends, do things, go to the park. Just take a walk, a stroll around your neighborhood. Anything that will get you up and moving. People working across sectors can help older people also. So if you're out there and you're in a senior community or you have a neighbor that's a senior, go and help them. Go for a walk with them. Do something to help them so they can meet their goal of getting out and walking every day. So, in our next newsletter, we will have a list of helpful resources just so that you can get out and help someone be more active. You can do this by checking out our website. Okay, go check out our website, www.deveaux.group, to check it out. Now, during the month of September, during this month, which is Healthy Aging Month, why not challenge yourself to make a commitment to forming a new healthy habit? It could be anything from increasing your daily steps to just replacing sugary snacks with healthy alternatives. Something simple. What new habits will you form during this month, Healthy Aging Month? What are you going to do? Take one step. But whatever it is, be sure to take the time to focus on your health. So, let's go, y'all. Age gracefully and healthily. So, this month our topic is dealing with the death of a loved one. Now, how your brain handles grief? Y'all, listen, we all grieve differently, but your brain handles it, and that is why healing takes time. It happens over time. Your brain can't just release it. It takes time. So be patient with yourself. Don't let anyone tell you that you should be over it and you should stop grieving. Don't do that. Everyone is different. You take your time, whatever it takes. Take your time to grieve, get through the grieving process. So at the end of your grieving process, if it ever ends, you are going to come on stronger, better, and be healthy. I can share with you my experience from my mother's death that any form of holidays can be difficult after the death of a loved one. As a matter of fact, this month of September is the 2nd anniversary of her passing. And it's also my birthday month. So it's very difficult for me to celebrate my birthday and 3 days later celebrate or remember my mom passed away on September 24th, 3 days after my birthday. But I will tell you that what I have incorporated with my children and my husband is for us all to get together and look through her obituary. We look at pictures, we spend time and we laugh and we talk about all the memories that we have of Grandma and of my mother. And that is how we celebrate my mother's life, even though she's not here with us. So we grieve, but we also celebrate, because I want to show and demonstrate to my kids that even though it is painful and I am grieving, I want to focus on the good things about my mother and what she has taught me and how she has helped me to become the woman that I am. So everyone grieves differently. This is how we are handling our grief. We are spending time together as a family. And we do cry. and we do talk through it. So remember, you grieve the way it works for you. But I encourage people not to avoid these feelings. You've got to face them on. It's okay to cry. If you don't allow yourself to cry, you will not go through the process of grieving. It is going to stagnate. You're going to be stagnant if you don't allow yourself to grieve and if you don't allow yourself to cry. It's okay. The University of Arizona studies what happens in our brains when we experience grief. And according to them, grieving is a form of learning. Yes, grieving is a form of learning. It helps us learn how to live in a world without someone we love. Yes, that is true. It seems that our brain, I gotta catch myself, y'all. Yes, it seems that our brains are constantly processing and adapting to this new reality as we learn to form new habits and interact with the world in a different way than we did before. We now have to learn how to adapt in a world without our loved one. So painful. Grieving is a natural response to loss, and it takes time to adapt to it. It involves intense emotions such as sadness, pain, anxiety, yearning, and crying and tears. Grief can also interfere with your relationships and your friendships. And with the emotion of anger being particularly intense, neuroimaging studies have shown that grief is linked to many different brain functions. Adjusting to the fact that a loved one is gone requires changes in the brain and support from those around you. This is so hard. Research suggests that a very small proportion of people, less than 10%, may suffer from prolonged grief disorder 6 months to a year after a death or loss. Symptoms can include difficulty functioning, being unable to do everyday tasks, and grief-related issues and thoughts. It is important to note that 90% of people who experience difficult grief and suffering but do not have a disorder, intervention and counseling may be helpful to get you back on track. So how to cope with grief? Grief is a painful and unpredictable process. Take these steps into consideration as you develop the coping skills to deal with grief and bereavement. First, give yourself time. You're likely to experience emotional pain due to grief for a very long time. Yes, you are. Accept the highs and the lows as they come. Give yourself the grace to experience all sorts of emotions. It's okay and it's normal. Time will eventually heal all wounds. Number 2, seek support. When you grieve, you are at your most vulnerable. Reach out to compassionate friends and bereavement support groups. Consider booking a therapy session as well. 3, take care of yourself. It's easy to let grief take control of your life. Don't do it. It can lead you to make unhealthy decisions that might exacerbate the negative feelings. Try to continue eating well, exercise as well, and get enough sleep. And don't forget to practice safe practices. And last, take care of yourself. Self-care is so important at this time. Now it's time to welcome our very special guest. We heard from her last week and we appreciate her sharing her story. Such a painful story. We know this is a very painful topic. I'm struggling with this topic because I've experienced this as well. We are pleased to welcome my guest, Latina Roggero, our guest again for this week. She will be with us all month. Remember, Latina is a multi-talented individual who has achieved success in various fields such as real estate, international modeling, and community service. She's known for her extensive market knowledge in the real estate industry and her captivating presence and talent in the fashion industry. Woohoo, she rocks. And Latina loves being involved in community service. She has a passion for her community, and it is all evident in everything that she does and her various philanthropic endeavors. She is a woman who gives back and loves it. Latina tirelessly devotes her time and resources to making a positive impact. And her empathy, her leadership skills, and her ability to mobilize resources have earned her the administration or the admiration and respect of her peers and community members. She has been a caring guardian for her family for the last 7 years, including support for her sister and her father, and previously for her mother and her sister until their passing. Latina has had a heavy weight on her shoulders. She is currently looking after her 85-year-old grandma. Wow, she's a spectacular lady. Latina has experienced tremendous loss in her life, and again, including the death of her children's father when they were infants, her beloved sister 10 years ago, and her mother just over a year ago. And wow, I just can't even imagine. Despite these hardships, Latina has remained resilient and bravely continues to move forward. This is why she's here this month with us to talk about our topic, dealing with the death of a loved one. And we look forward to hearing Latina's story and how she went through 5 stages of grief. Remember those 5 stages of grief? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. It is so important to note that the 5 stages of grief does not or do not necessarily occur in that order. Well, we can't wait to get to our guest. Please join me in welcoming my very special friend and my guest today, Latina Roggero. Latina, welcome. So Latina, you were talking about the different phases of grief that you went through. Mm-hmm. Can you recall the time frame after you laid your mom to rest that you started experiencing the different phases of grief? What point did you experience the maybe the bargaining, like, dear mm-hmm. God, please don't let this happen, that you bring my mom back, I can't, but can you walk us through the time frame after you laid them to rest that you went through, any one of those phases of grief that you went through?
So losing my sister was definitely different from losing my mom, the way I grieved. Mm-hmm. When I lost my sister, of course, she had five girls and 1 boy. The 4 younger ones were the ones that were still minors. So I was concerned about them. Plus, I was also concerned about my daughters. They were very close to my sister. And then my mom. Mm. So at that time, I was focusing on making sure everybody was taken care of. I was working a full-time job, working for corporate. I was also in school part-time. The day that we had my sister's service was the same day that I had to take a test, a proctor exam test. Mm-hmm. But I was very busy. I stayed busy the whole entire time. So I really didn't have an opportunity to sit still to grieve over my sister. We were 2 years apart. She was 2 years younger than me. So we were very close. Mm-hmm. And so the grief, I cried, of course, but I knew I had to be there for everybody. So it was a little bit different than when I lost my mom. Losing my mom was completely different, the way I dealt with grieving over her. Mm. I had time to grieve. I made time to grieve. I think God was kind of telling me, you're going to sit your butt down and you're going to grieve. you know, because I'm always moving. I'm always going. I'm like an Energizer battery that keep going nonstop. So me taking that time to sit and grieve and sit still and deal with my emotions was very important. I didn't even realize how important it was because, you know, I'm not a crier. So I cry, but the amount of crying that I've done the last few months have been something like, I'm thinking to myself, is it enough tears?
Can I produce that much tears?
You know, I've cried so much and just so, my heart was so heavy. My throat was heavy. Everything was just heavy. It was heavy. Like that was the emotions that was just wanting to be released.
Right.
I met someone 2 days before my mom passed, and she had been a godsend for me, but she's my Thai massager and yoga instructor. And when I met her during the time when my mom was in the hospital, I knew I needed to do something for myself. So I was like, let me go get a Thai massage so I could just at least try to relax as much as I can, knowing the fact that, you know, she's transitioning. When I met her, it's been such, she's been a blessing for me, because as I was explaining to her what was going on, she's like, those are your emotions. I literally thought I was going to die because I had no idea that these emotions can be the way I was experiencing. You know, my heart is heavy. I literally thought I was going to die. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I prayed to God and asked him, like, can I make it?
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Wow. And you did make it. The emotions needed to come out. And the emotions came out in the form of tears. Crying.
Yes.
And your yoga instructor gave you good advice.
She did.
Cry, get it out.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it stays in there, and what happens?
Festers. It festers inside, and before you know it, you get sick and you die.
You get sick and you die. Stress kills.
Yes,
do not keep the emotions in. Get them out
immediately,
as quickly as you can. So Latina, we talked about, oh man, the crying and the emotions and having to be strong for your family members and having to deal with all of these things. When you look at the 5 stages of grief, we've got the denial, the anger, the bargaining, and the 4th one is that depression. Did you go through any form of depression?
I would say I went through some type of depression. I went through guilt. I went through quite a bit of different things that, you know, first of all, I wasn't the really closest to my mom. And so I felt at that time that I'm glad that I was there for her every step of the way before she passed. The last 5 years were like truly the years that I spent more time with her than I had before. So losing her, it was just like I hadn't even had that opportunity to even know who my mom really was.
Wow.
So I was angry. I was also feeling guilty that I could have done more to help her, because my mom did suffer from mental illness. I really don't know what her whole diagnosis was, but I know that my mom did not live in reality. She did not want to accept when things happen. Losing my sister,
wow,
she never grieved. I never saw my mom grieve over my sister.
Wow.
So it made me, with my mom transitioning, it made me really see the big picture on what was going on with my mom the last 10 years. And now I understood. She suffered in silence. She didn't talk to anyone. She didn't share how she felt, her feelings. I had no idea.
Wow.
But she was hurting from losing her daughter.
Of course, absolutely. Yes.
And like I said, I knew that now after she transitioned, because it's just, things have just been, my mind has been going like crazy. It's just figuring things out and trying to put all the pieces together on, you know, my mom was a healthy person. She was a healthy eater. She was like really, but what really killed my mom, When we talk about cancer, it was the fact that she didn't deal with her emotions, and her emotions made her sick. And the same thing that happened to my sister. Her emotions made her sick. They both died the same way.
That is so deep and so profound.
Yes.
Wow.
That's why I've been, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself for recognizing, and I know it's God that's given me all what I need, but I'm happy that I've listened. I sat still to be able to understand everything that has transpired with my mom and my sister, because I don't want to go out like that.
Yeah.
So I talk to a therapist. I have 2 therapists that I talk to on a weekly basis. I have a grieving therapist monthly that I talk to. I'm constantly talking. I'm constantly sharing my story any way I can to help other people, because this is real. This is serious. If you want to live life and you want to be happy, you got to do things necessary and be mindful of you. You know, I mean, you pay attention to other people, but pay attention to yourself and what's going on. Then you can help others.
Self-care, self-preservation. Take care of yourself. Take care of you. You can't help anyone else if you're not taking care of you. Wow.
Very important.
This has been such an informative session with you. These phases of denial. Gosh, you know, you deny it's not happening. You're angry. You know, you're bargaining. You go into that phase of depression, and then you go through that period of acceptance. Everyone goes through these 5 phases at different times, different stages, and in different ways. Latina shared her story about the issues that she experienced after she laid her sister and her mom to rest. It wasn't easy for her. She felt like she wanted to die, but she did something that helped her get through it. We're going to talk more about some things that she did, additional things that she did. But remember the one thing that she said that she did today. She released the emotions through tears and crying. Gosh, people, it's okay to cry.
It is.
You're not weak. Mom, Dad, aunties, it's okay. Let it out, cry. Because she said something. Her mom kept it in, her sister kept it in, and they both passed away because they became sick from keeping things in. Come on, people, we can do this. It's okay to cry. We are talking about mental health and how to deal and how to cope when we lose a loved one. It is not easy. You're going to feel like you are going to die. Yes, emotions are going to be strong. You're going to be sad. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be in denial. You're going to be angry. It's okay. You can get through it. Latina did, I did, and so many other people have gone through it, and we're doing okay. But it is a phase that you'll go through. Get help, cry, and live better, live longer, and enjoy your life every single day. We're going to speak with Latina again next week, where we'll hear more from her about how she's dealing with the passing of 2 loved ones, her mom 7 months ago and her sister over 10 years ago. Latina, thank you, my sister. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you
spending time with us today.
Thank you.
We will see you next week. We will see Latina next week. And coming up, living longer and living better. Wow, fantastic, fantastic story from Latina. Her story and what she's gone through is so inspiring and so touching. We appreciate her sharing her story yet again. Thank you, Latina. So let's look at habits to live longer and live better. Remember, every week we talk about 4 things that we recommend. 1, proper diet. And this is Healthy Aging Month, y'all. You gotta make a change, do something to help yourself get better. Proper diet, we want you to remember what your parents will tell you. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Remember your parents said that? Yeah, there's a reason why. Remember, beans and other high fiber foods are excellent excellent for digestive and heart health. If you are feeling lethargic, eat iron-rich foods such as spinach, beans, dried fruit, and meats. If you want a snack, stay away from processed sugary foods, y'all. Try nuts, dried fruits, or trail mix. They may not be the greatest, but they are healthy. And remember, September is still harvest season, so check out your local farmers market. Number 2, regular exercise. Never stop moving. A body at rest remains at rest. Physical activity is essential for maintaining cardiovascular and muscular health. It prevents muscles from deteriorating and can help to keep the body functioning and moving as it should. Walking and stretching are simple ways to get your heart rate up and release endorphins, which can help fight a variety of health issues, including depression. Number 3, reduce stress. Mental health is an important factor in our overall health. We should not become dead before our bodies. To live life to its fullest, we should set new goals and dream new dreams. Meditation or prayer can help with age-related memory loss and improve physical and emotional health by reducing stress and increasing mental clarity. Hey, last one, number 4, social connection. This is optional. No, it's really not. It's not optional. It is necessary. Consider investing in our youth. Mentor someone. Spend time with them. Volunteer at an after-school program or go to Big Brother and Big Sister and spend some time there. Volunteer there. Being around young people can help you feel young again. We need to be the most like the young people who have so much energy. So go and spend time with some young folks so that you can keep feeling young and socialize and laugh with them because they are fun. Yes, young people can be fun. Remember, 4 things: proper diet, regular exercise, reducing stress, and socialization. Doing these things will have a positive impact on your overall health and well-being and will help you live longer and live better. Yes. So remember, this month, our topic is dealing with the death of a loved one. To learn more about grief and loss, visit 988 or text them. They are there 24 hours a day to assist. And remember, our guest, Latina Roggero, will be with us all month. So please join in next week when Latina will be back to share more of her story. So remember, to learn more about our sponsor, DG Incorporated, you can visit them at deveauxgroup.com or follow them on LinkedIn at DG Incorporated. And we invite you to watch our Aging Puzzle every Friday at 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel at Our Aging Puzzle. Or you can watch at DG Incorporated on their YouTube channel as well. And again, thank you so much to our guest, Latina, for being so fantastic and so inspiring and sharing your story. Thank you, Latina. See you next week, all. Thank you for joining us. Voila.
I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from Shark Tank. DG Incorporated provides coaching services to help entrepreneurs open and grow assisted living facilities and build economic wealth. Visit their website to learn more.